Well, in simpler times, it was much easier to have privacy.
Do you want me to leave the room?
That won't be necessary, Hodgkins. We can talk under the cone of silence.
The cone of silence?
I am deeply concerned about the conference room.
What?
I'm concerned about the conference room.
How's that?
Well, of course, that was Don Adams and the TV show Get Smart. Now, today, even if that cone of silence had worked back then, it would not work today because they can work out what you're saying even without a microphone. Take a look at this article that Paul Joseph Watson put up on Infowars.com today. MIT develops technology to record conversations using inanimate objects. Yes, using only a video of the object and suitable processing algorithm, we can extract these minute vibrations and partially recover sounds that produce them, letting us turn everyday objects into visual microphones. In other words, soundproof rooms, he says, are no longer a defense against eavesdroppers. The video demonstrates that they can record video recording of vibrations of a leaf on a pot plant, and the words from the nursery rhyme, "Mary Had a Little Lamb," could be discerned once the vibrations were translated into sound. They said in another experiment they could get human speech from looking at a video of a bag of potato chips lying on the ground. Of course, that's in there as crisps because Paul Joseph Watson is British. That's what they call potato chips over there. But why would they use this? Well, they've got microphones everywhere. We've already told you that they put microphones in the street lights to listen to you. They're listening to your conversations on your phone, on your computer. They can watch you through the cameras, on your laptops, as we pointed out for a very long time. Perhaps, as I was thinking about this, perhaps this is a way for them to use satellites to listen to people. They have incredibly good visuals on satellites. And of course, if they can get a good visual on you, they can listen to what you're saying. That's the paranoia of the police state. Well, today is the beginning of the Black Hat Conference in Las Vegas. This is where people get together to try to exploit cybersecurity. And of course, the surveillance state, the police state, has a very heavy presence there. The keynote address today was given by the chief security officer of In-Q-Tel. Does that sound familiar? That is the venture capitalist firm of the CIA. And everybody knows about it. It's common knowledge. But here's what he had to say that's interesting. He called for mandatory reporting of vulnerabilities of all types of cyber attacks, not just those with internet-wide implications like Heartbleed. And he wants it for all organizations, small and large. He said the mandatory reporting should follow the U.S. Center for Disease Control, the CDC, model where disease outbreaks above a certain threshold have to be reported to the public. The CDC, he says, doesn't care about the individual patient or health information, but the second the patient poses a risk to society at large, the hospital is legally required to report the illness. Now, that's an interesting comparison for him to make, isn't it? Since we know that the CDC is not really protecting us, but is actually bringing in the Ebola virus, breaking their own protocols on something that we've also seen is patented by the U.S. government here. But he goes on, he has some other things to say about this. He also suggested that the U.S. government should corner the zero-day vulnerability market by buying up all the vulnerabilities from researchers and then making them public. Now, that's an interesting idea. That sounds like they have our best interests at heart, doesn't it? Except that Aaron Swartz, who vigorously campaigned against CISPA, the guy who started Reddit and the guy who died subsequently, he told us, before he died, he told us that the government is funding virtually all of the exploits. They're funding the people to break into everything. So why would this guy, is he naive? Does he not understand what Aaron Swartz understands? And he says this last thing here. Once vulnerability finding became a job and not just a hobby, in other words, it wasn't just these hobbyist hackers out there doing it. He said those who were finding the vulnerabilities stopped sharing them. I mean, is this guy naive, or does he think that we're naive? This is way beyond the fact that we've just got some hobbyist hackers out there. And of course, the ones that are out there, like the ones at the Black Hat Conference itself, it's the CIA venture capital funds and the CIA itself that always goes to these conferences trying to get these guys, if they are in fact working as a hobby, trying to hire them so that they can then create these exploits for the NSA. Are they really going to tell us when they buy these things up, or is he just putting that out there as cover for the fact that the CIA is going to get more aggressive about funding cybersecurity intrusions? Now, today we had some information breaking on the Daily Mail that a Homeland Security inspector has been arrested after he went onto Craigslist and tried to solicit people. He tried to solicit a mother and her daughter to have sex with him. He was busted, of course, not by Homeland Security, but by the FBI. He allegedly tried to have sex with a mother and her underage daughter, says the FBI. Now, the interesting thing about this is that he worked as a behavior detection officer for Homeland Security. That's right. What kind of behavior does he have? And this is the one that sent laughter throughout the studio when we saw this quote here. The TSA made a statement about this today. They said the agency is currently in the process of terminating his employment, but then they said this, which is really, TSA holds its employees to the highest ethical standards and expects all TSA employees to conduct themselves with integrity and professionalism. These alleged crimes are egregious and intolerable, just as the actual crimes that Homeland Security has the TSA do at the airports to women, to children, are intolerable and egregious, as well as a violation of our constitutional rights. So when we look at this, where are we today? There was an interesting story that was up on the Drudge Report yesterday. And before we do that, I want you to take a look at this famous clip that started out in the Treasure Sierra Madre. Badges, we don't need no stinking badges. Take a look at this classic clip.
If you're the police, where are your badges?
Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Well, just as Pete Martino told us on the report we aired on the Alex Jones radio show a couple of days ago, if you don't stop the corruption, and of course, you're always going to have corruption in any organization, if you don't purge it, it becomes systemic. Well, stay with us. Right after the break, we have an interview with a former SEAL, now a best-selling author, Matt Bracken. And his books have foreseen some of the situations that look very much like the near future for us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage or your home kitchen. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.